Hello, beautiful free spirits. This is Luisa. We're going to give a couple seconds for everyone to kind of come on and chat. I'm doing a sort of impromptu flying upstream sort of chat session. This is very unplanned. Let me close my blinds here. Something completely unplanned and that I'm really excited about though, because last week we celebrated 100 episodes of the Flying Upstream podcast, and we haven't been on YouTube for that whole time. We've only been on YouTube for a little bit of that. We only live stream. Well, we do live stream most of our episodes now, but it doesn't always happen. And there are different reasons for that. But also, and most importantly, is that sometimes it just doesn't work out, whether it's for us, technology, our guests. Um, but I feel like 100 episodes is a big deal. And I really wanted to take a moment to just come on and show gratitude and be really grateful to everyone who tunes in, to everyone who listens, everyone who watches, whether you watch us here on YouTube or you follow us on the podcast platforms. I want to take a moment to express that gratitude. I want to take a moment to make sure that everyone really does understand how grateful both Kristen and I are. And Kristen has no idea I'm going live right now. So she may actually be watching. But I did not want 100 episodes of us recording and being on this beautiful mission that Kristen and I set out on a little bit over a year now to go unnoticed and to go uncelebrated. Our team did an amazing job while we were completely out of it, or I was completely out of it, in celebrating it on social media and putting it on all of our platforms. But I was not in tune at the time. I was out living my life and I missed it. But I really want to take this opportunity to be able to get on, chat with everyone about what it really means to fly upstream. The name of the podcast can be kind of a little weird when you don't know what it's about and the intention and or the story behind it. So it's important to me, important to us that all of our listeners and viewers have a really great understanding of where all this came from and why flying upstream and why we do what we do every day, because there's a lot of behind the scenes work that happens by the time something gets put on air and by the time that we are having a conversation with our guests. There's a lot of work that goes into putting this on, and a lot of work that goes into being able to find the right guests and being able to share the story in a way that is in alignment with the Flying Upstream podcast and with the Flying Upstream mission. So, for example, first and foremost, welcome to this very special live, like I said, completely unplanned. And if you haven't tuned in before, I am Luisa. I'm one of the voices behind Flying Upstream, the podcast, and the blog. We also now have a blog that we haven't been doing a lot of promotion about, but also the blog. And today I'm here to take you a little bit behind the scenes of the Flying Upstream story and behind the movement, what it really means. Flying Upstream to us is not just a brand, first and foremost. It's really a way of living. And that's how Kristen and I came together, was our paths, as different as they were, because Kristen is a vegan lifestyle guide and my journey has been very much a spiritual one, as to how I got here, beginning by the very foundation, or what I thought was the foundation of my life, being completely ripped apart in what at the time felt like an unforeseeable, stream of events. Then it really prompted a spiritual kind of awakening and path that has become the foundation of who I am today and the life that I live. And so flying upstream is really a way of life for both of us in very different ways. But where we converge and where Flying Upstream comes to exist and comes to really be and grow, it was out of a place of understanding that the foundation and the new life that each of us had individually built outside of the traditional norms and outside of the societal pressures was based on one thing, based on living out of alignment and based on living out of our soul's purpose. So it sort of became a spiritual thing for both of us without it being the intention whatsoever. And as a result of that, we've built this life individually and separately, but also this business that has completely fallen into place and allowed us to continue to live our lives out of that place of alignment, following our intuition, following our passions and the things that we love to do and how we love to spend our time. And it has become Flying Upstream. And that is the foundation of this brand that is Flying Upstream. We really look to bring people on and hope that our listeners and the people that we inspire and the people that comment and the people that, are really getting something out of this are people who, like us, have questioned whether life has to be built around burnout, around perfectionism, or around pretending, right? Around pretending that you want a traditional marriage, for example, around pretending that you want a white picket fence, around pretending that you want to marry the person that you're supposed to marry so that your life can look the way that society tells you that it's supposed to look, the way that everybody else expects it to look, the way that everyone in your family has told you it should look, the way your parents built their lives. And if you've questioned that, we really, that's the foundation. We want you here. We want you to be a part of our community because that's what Kristen and I both did in very different ways, like I said before. And for me, like I said, this started as a really deep personal journey. Living my white picket fence life, I was living in so much fear and there was so much pain, but I couldn't bring myself out of it. There was somebody else in my life that had to kind of hit that first domino for that effect to take, to kind of start rolling, for my path to start unfolding before me. And as soon as that happened for me, one of the most life changing things was this playlist that I had on YouTube. I had this spiritual leader that was sent my way, because there's no other way to say it, that gave me this playlist on YouTube that I listened to every day. And I listened to it because I was in so much pain, but I didn't know how to change my life. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. I was juggling being a mother, I was juggling corporate America, burnout, healing, and living in quiet pain is the best way that I could put it. And losing myself. I lost myself completely. And so this playlist, this YouTube playlist, was one of the first things that changed my life. And so Flying Upstream from that perspective for me is very personal because I know, I experience, it's been part of my journey that those little tidbits that I listen to from other podcasts, from those videos on YouTube, they were transformational. There were moments and there are still words from that playlist that has, it's probably now 2, 3 years old, that I know to this day. I can regurgitate some of those things because they stuck with me. And so Flying Upstream is sort of my giving back to the universe for the beauty that those videos and that those creators and that those podcasters really gave to me. It's sort of my, here's a little bit of a piece, because I don't think I can ever give what those messages have done for me. The transformation that, you know, those messages, those podcasts, those videos had for me is not something I'm ever going to be able to repay anyone back for, because it's insurmountable. Um, and so yeah, Flying Upstream has become that. I wasn't brave enough. to try it on my own. I did need someone else to sort of hit that domino effect for me. Unfortunately, and fortunately is what it looks like for me these days. But also, I believe that, being brave is the beginning of change, it's the beginning of transformation, and it's the beginning of not being stuck anymore. uh, Being brave is something, though, that I also understand that the collective, especially in our society, doesn't really honor the way that it should be honored, because being brave doesn't look the way that it looks in the movies. It's very different. It's in the little, small, little actions, it's in the words, in the small, tiny choices that we make every day that really comes into play. And flying upstream is about finding that courage. It's about finding the courage and being brave enough to go against the current, and really about always remembering that upstream is where your truest self lives. So that means making the difficult choices that in that moment may make you look bad by all societal standards. And that can be something like, saying no. That was a really hard one for me. It can mean that in the moment, you're going to look like the bad wolf because you're saying no. But in your highest version of yourself and in your heart and in your soul, that that is the right thing to do. And flying upstream is finding the courage in every single one of those small moments to remember that where you desire to exist, the truest and highest version of yourself requires that moment in order for you to grow. And that's why I'm here today, really. I love sharing the messiness and the magic that comes along with the journey of flying upstream. And the journey of flying upstream is an ongoing one. It's a journey that is never ending. And really a journey that, for anyone that is ever watching or listening or experiencing, it's a journey that is magical. There's no other way to put it. For me, the journey has just been pure magic. And that magic really has allowed me to recreate my life, recreate myself, reinvent myself, and operate out of the truest and highest version of myself, most of the time, because always would be a lie. This journey is not easy, but flying upstream really is, for me, the hope that there's a little phrase that one of our guests, that anything that we share, anything that we say, or that something, maybe it's just one thing that we share or that we say, that it may resonate enough to give you the courage to at least start questioning, at least start asking yourself, is this the path? Is this what my soul yearns? Is this who I want to be? Is this the person I want to be with? Is this the place that I want to live in? Is this the kind of life that I want to create? Do I want to live in this environment? Do I want these people around me? If it's just getting you to question, then we've succeeded. That is my mission. Is that there is any one nugget, any one guest, anything that is shared on this podcast that resonates with you and prompts a change into and toward your soul's purpose, and into and toward the life that you were meant to live here in this realm on this lifetime, then my mission is accomplished. And that's why Flying Upstream is such a beautiful project. It's such a beautiful creation, co-creation of myself, Kristen, and the universe. And we really hope that everything that we do here is able to help someone. One of the main things that Kristen and I have loved about this journey is collaborating together and collaborating with our guests. And we've learned a lot along the process. Building a business, along with building a life that is in alignment with yourself and with the universe, is no easy feat. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of resilience, and it also, and most importantly, takes the awareness to know that there's always going to be growth. if I'm not growing, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. And so we hope to share that with everyone along the journey. And for me, and moving forward beyond these 100 episodes that we've already recorded, beyond the over 80 guests that we've had on this podcast, sharing their stories of resilience, of empowerment, and of overcoming, I really hope that the takeaway is that community is so important. And that if you don't go within, if you don't follow that intuition, are you really living your soul's purpose? And that is the main question. Are you living your soul's purpose? Are you doing and abiding and working towards creating the life that you want to create? For a lot of us, that looks like that 9 to 5 grind. Ugh, that can be a tough one. And Kristen and I are really dedicated and looking forward to co creating with each and every one of you, teaching everyone and anyone who wants to listen how we have built a life and a business that is both messy and magical. And we're looking forward to sharing all of the tools to build that life and that business that are in alignment with you, in alignment with your path, in alignment with your soul's purpose, and in alignment with who and what you were meant to be here and in this lifetime. So, one of the things that I've done is I'm going to put in the description the link to sign up for the newsletter, because our newsletter is beaming and booming with tools and resources and additional information about the things, tools that our guests share also, because there is so much knowledge that has been shared on these 100 episodes that we've recorded so far from our over 80 guests, that it's really hard to put all into a 30 or 40-minute podcast episode. But within our newsletter and within our blog, we share a lot of that. It allows us to expand on what we share in those 30 or 40 minutes of that podcast episode. So I'm going to go ahead, add the link to the newsletter. Go ahead and sign up for the newsletter. The newsletter is going to give you not just the tools and the resources and the additional tips and the additional fun stuff that happens with our guests, but it's also going to give you all of the goodness that comes out on the blog every single week, which is also an expansion, and also some additional lifestyle tips and lifestyle guides on how to live in alignment. I also want you to look forward to something really exciting. It's actually not just one thing, it's quite a few things, but there are a few things that I'm very excited about that we have in the works with the Flying Upstream community and the Flying Upstream brand. We're really excited also now that our team has been expanded. We have some amazing team members. We're going to be featuring them soon so everyone can get to know them as well. So make sure to click on the link, join the newsletter so that you don't miss any of that. Feel free to send us an email with any questions. Feel free to reach out, leave a comment. Kristen and I love responding to all of those and love engaging with you all. Thank you so much. And until next time, you beautiful free spirits, feel free to reach out and celebrate these 100 episodes with us.